Hello everyone, and welcome to another Pyro gaming video. Destiny 2, much like other sandbox-oriented games, is constantly changing. Now what this means is sometimes we will have a couple of months where hammers might be really good for titans, and then the next season they'll be trash, and then it's all about Sentinel or all about Striker. Same thing goes for weapons. You will have godly weapons one season that are just absolute garbage the next season. Now, on one hand, this is kind of annoying. You know, you get used to using something, you really like it, and then it's gone. But the positive about this system is that each season we get to try out some new things that maybe we wouldn't have been using before. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Here are 5 really strong PvE exotics that I don't see a lot of people using, and you definitely need to give them a shot this season. I will start things off with one of my personal favorite exotics from year 1 that once Forsaken launched just got swept under the rug. Fusion rifles recently got a pretty hefty buff in PvE, and Merciless's exotic perk actually makes it a really good DPS dealing machine. Basically, every time you fire Merciless without getting a kill, it increases your charge time. So if you have something like a rally barricade or something like that against a big boss, you can do an insane amount of damage in a short amount of time. Merciless is most definitely worth picking up and trying out during this season. Next up on my list, I'm going to talk about Anarchy. Now, Anarchy has made a pretty big comeback in the Crown of Sorrow raid. It's really good for the Deception phase as well as the actual Galran boss fight. Anarchy's exotic perk allows it to shoot and trap enemies, I guess. It's this. This is what it looks like. You shoot an enemy, then you shoot the ground or the wall near it, and it tethers the enemy and does continuous damage over time. The more of these that you stick, the more damage ticks that you do. I believe it stacks up to about 3. Not only is Anarchy a useful weapon when it comes to enemy control, but it is also a grenade launcher, and grenade launchers are hotter than Hansel right now. To give you an idea of how good Anarchy currently is, it is in the top 5 highest DPS weapons for the Galran boss fight as of right now. And for those that don't know, you obtain Anarchy as a random exotic drop from the final chest in the Scourge of the Past raid. It took me 56 Scourge runs to get this damn thing. I'm glad I finally have a reason to use it. Next up on my list, I have the TwoTailed Fox exotic rocket launcher. Now this is a really unique rocket launcher because it fires 2 rockets, one void that stuns your enemies and one solar that does damage. Now rocket launchers as a whole got a little bit of a buff/nerf back in Season of the Drifter. Basically what they did was increased the damage that rocket projectiles do while decreasing the amount of damage that cluster bombs do. Now for a weapon like TwoTailed Fox, it got a big buff because it fires 2 projectiles, so it does a lot of damage whenever they hit those enemies. It's really good. Next up, we have Telesto, aka the Besto, aka Molesto. Alright, that last one, I've never heard anybody say that, but still. Telesto's a really fun weapon. It basically lets you do double damage with Fusion Rifle, and like we were talking about Merciless, Fusion Rifle's got a buff. In the start of this season, they do a lot of damage now. Telesto not only has impact damage from projectiles, which is what got a buff, but it also has detonator damage from the little blast thing afterwards. You see the purple shit that's popping? That's the thing I'm talking about. Now, Telesto does have a bit of a slow charge time, so it's not going to be a DPS monster per se, but it is a really good all-around weapon to have for majors and ultras. It's really good. Try it out. And lastly, we have the Prospector. No joke, guys, this thing right now is a top 3 DPS weapon in this entire game. If you have not yet visited the Church of Prospector, you need to drop to your knees and start praying to your new messiah because this thing is nutty. This thing was a top DPS contender prior to the buff to grenade launchers, and now that it is buffed, it straight up deletes enemies. It's probably the best weapon for Riven. It's one of the best weapons for Galran. I mean, this thing just melts. It is insane. Seriously, guys, I cannot stress this enough. Go use this weapon against bosses. And there you have it, guys. There are 5 exotic weapons for PvE that I feel like need to get a lot more love this season. Go try these weapons out. Drop a comment in the box below. Let me know what you think of them. I've been having a lot of fun using them in raids, nightfalls, and just general gameplay. They're good. They're good. Just put it that way. Just go try them, man. They're really fun. Also, drop a comment in the box below and let me know what under-the-radar exotics you have been using this season with great success. And that is going to do it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, click like. If you're new to the channel, click subscribe. And if you are already subscribed, you know I fucking love you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.